Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Wednesday, March the 6th. We got a big Wednesday slate. We got a 10-game slate. I'm going to go through each position, talk about some of the guys that I like on this 10-gamer, work our way through the player pool. And of course, I will give my 5 plays for DraftKings and 5 plays for Yahoo. These are 5 players that I do like specifically for each site. Before we get started, though, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. But starting off at point guard today, we got Kyrie Irving at the top of this position, 9,300 in a road matchup with the Kings. I do like this matchup a lot for Kyrie. It is a back-to-back for the Celtics, which is a bit concerning, and there are some other good options you can pivot to. I don't think Kyrie is the guy you have to pay up for, even though I really like him. Luka's in a great spot. Ben Simmons is in a great spot. Really like Luka at 9,100 against the Wizards. Ben Simmons I like as well, but he's on a back-to-back as well. The Sixers are on a back-to-back. I think Luka Doncic in a matchup with the Wizards, a pretty bad defensive Wizards team, a Wizards team that does play fast, has really struggled defensively against point guards this year. If I'm going to pay up at the top of the point guard position, overall I like the top 3 options in general, but if I have to pick one, I think Luka Doncic at 9,100 is the guy that I do want to go to. But point guard has some pretty strong mid-tier plays. I don't see the top options being core plays for me, being some of my highest owned players. On DraftKings, I'll probably have a decent amount of Luka because you can play him at small forward. On Yahoo, it's a bit tougher to play Luka because he's the most expensive point guard and you can only play him at point guard. And we're going to talk about guys like Rondo, who I really like. There's some cheaper options as well. We're going to talk about Derek White in a second, to where I don't see myself forcing in Luka today. On DraftKings, though, we can play him at small forward. Pretty easier to fit him in over there. But I do want to talk about these mid-range plays. So Rajon Rondo at 6K, really like today. On Yahoo, he's relatively reasonably priced as well at $27. Not as good of a price, but still like him on Yahoo at $27. We've seen Rondo start like the last 3 or 4 games. He had one game against, I think it was against the Suns, where he just wasn't very productive. And he didn't play a ton of minutes. Only 26 minutes in that game, 18 DK points. But the other 3 games he started, 37 minutes, 48 minutes, 38 minutes, 48, 48, and 60 DraftKings points. Rondo just has so much upside. If he's starting, he could play possibly 40 minutes and could easily get you 50, 60 DraftKings points. Rondo has triple-double upside. We saw it in that game against the Clippers, 24, 10, and 12. The guy has 50, 60-point upside, and that's really hard to find at a 6K price tag. Plus, Kyle Kuzma's out for this game. Brandon Ingram is questionable. If both of those guys were, or obviously we know Kuzma's going to be out, but if Ingram were to sit as well, Rondo, LeBron going to be doing all the heavy lifting for the Lakers. I expect those 2 guys to have a massive usage rate in this game. I think if Ingram plays with Kuzma out, he's going to be heavily involved as well. It's pretty much going to be it's going to be Ingram, Rondo, and LeBron running the show for this Lakers team on Wednesday. They're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But another point guard option I want to talk about is Derek White. He's $5,400 on DK. He's pretty cheap on Yahoo. He's only $20 over here. Derek White looks like a really good play to me on both sides. He has a great matchup today against the Hawks. It's a great spot for the Spurs going up against a fast-paced Hawks team and a Hawks team that does struggle defensively. And overall against point guards, the Hawks we know have been one of the worst defensive teams. Trae Young is a very bad defender. We've seen point guards against the Hawks have a ton of success. Derek White's been playing great lately, and now he gets a really good matchup against a Hawks team. He's been playing big minutes as well. He played 36 minutes against Denver. We love to see that. I think Derek White probably plays like 32 to 34 minutes in a matchup with the Hawks. Really hard to ignore. Still, where he's only 5,400, the guy legit has 8x upside in this matchup. Wouldn't be surprised if you get 40 DK points out of Derek White today. So I like him quite a bit on both sides. Definitely going to be a guy I roster quite a bit today. But if we're going cheap at point guard and we're looking for value here, I don't mind a guy like Jeff Teague at 5,300. I think I would rather play Derek White for just a little bit more, but Jeff Teague obviously gives you that double-double upside of points and assists pretty much on a nightly basis. So I do like him. Back-to-back, though, for the Timberwolves, which is a tad bit concerning, but I still think he's in play. There's really no value that I love here. Those mid-tier plays are where I'm really looking to with Rondo and White. So moving on to shooting guard at this position, I really do like DeMar DeRozan. On DraftKings, I don't think he's as necessary because with how the positions shake up, with how you can play guys at different positions, I don't think DeRozan's as necessary. But if we look at Yahoo, DeRozan's the top small forward here. You obviously have to play at least one small forward on Yahoo. I'm definitely going to have, out of my 10 Yahoo lineups, probably at least like 2 or 3 DeRozan, potentially even more if some good value opens up. Just because the position's usually always not that great. Paying up for DeRozan, probably going to try and do that as much as I can. He also gets that really good matchup with the Hawks. At 8,200 though on DraftKings, and with how you can play guys at different positions, I don't think DeRozan's as necessary, and I don't think shooting guard, paying up at shooting guard really makes that much sense. I don't love Beal at 9,800. Mitchell has a really good matchup, but at 8,700, I feel like you can get away from him as well. Shooting guard for me, another position where I think there's good mid-tier plays. If Brandon Ingram plays today, 6,800, I like him quite a bit. Jamal Murray against the Lakers, I like this matchup a ton for Jamal Murray. At 6,200, just this game in general, I like quite a bit. But 6,200 for Jamal Murray, I think definitely puts him in play. Maybe a guy like Will Barton at 5,600, I don't mind. Not my favorite play. But on Yahoo, where you have to play a small forward, and he's small forward over there at $21, wouldn't mind going to some Will Barton on Yahoo. But now talking about value plays, looking for cheap value, there really isn't a ton that stands out to me. Maybe like Alonzo Trier, he's been playing really well lately. He's still cheap. He's 4,500 on DraftKings. I think he's cheap on Yahoo as well. He's at shooting guard, and he's $14. Alonzo Trier definitely makes some sense if you need some value. He played 30 minutes last game, had his career high, 29 points, 44 fantasy points. It's a great matchup with the Suns. Don't mind some Alonzo Trier if you're trying to go cheap at shooting guard and punt this position. But let's go ahead and move on to small forward. I do like the top of this position. I talked about Luka, and I talked about Ben Simmons and DeRozan as well. Those are 3 guys I really like, but hard to not like LeBron James either. LeBron's 11,300 on DK, and at Yahoo he's at power forward, and he's $55. I'm just going to keep playing LeBron pretty much every night. The guy's giving you 40 minutes on a nightly basis. He's playing as many minutes as he can handle. He's been so consistent. Has yet to score like under 49 fantasy points like ever since the All-Star break ended. Like he hasn't scored less than 49 fantasy points. The game he did score 49 DK points was against the Clippers in that last game. Just getting 50, 55 DK points consistently out of LeBron. Obviously, he has upside, especially if the game is competitive. The Lakers are still trying to win. It seems like they're not going to shut LeBron down. They're going to continue to run him into the ground. They're trying to make the playoffs, so I expect LeBron plays about 42 minutes here, probably 40, 42 minutes. He probably gets you 60 DraftKings points. If the game's high scoring and competitive, you probably get close to 70, 80 DK points out of LeBron. Even though it's not an optimal matchup, I still think he's in a really good spot to just outperform this price tag, especially with no Kuzma. That's a lot of shots to go around. I think LeBron's going to take a lot more shots in this game. Rondo could see some more shooting opportunity as well. Really like some of these Lakers plays just because they're playing their starters huge minutes, and they're a little bit thin today with no Kuzma and potentially no Ingram. But now talking about other small forwards, I don't really want to go to the mid-range. I do want to pay up if I can at this position because I think there are very strong plays at the top. If you were to go to the mid-range, though, if we're looking here, there's not really a ton that stands out to me. Just don't see any core plays at small forward in the mid-range. Like maybe Mike Scott, I think he played like 25, 26 minutes. On Tuesday, I did like him quite a bit, especially when Jonah Bolden got ruled out. I expected the minutes to be there. I think he had like 19 DK points. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't really great either. If Jordan Bolden sits again, you could roll with Mike Scott, but that's definitely not my favorite value. Really just don't like any cheap plays here. Going to try and pay up at this position as much as I can. But let's go ahead and move on to power forward now. This is a position that has really good mid-range options. Blake Griffin, Julius Randle at the top I'm not really interested in. Lauri Markkanen, if I were going to pay it for someone, it would probably be him at 8K. But when you get to this mid-range, there's really some good options here. Even though it's a back-to-back, and that is a bit concerning, Al Horford has a great matchup today against the Kings. I wouldn't mind going to him at 6,400. I think Larry Nance Jr. is in a phenomenal spot today. He's 5,900 on DraftKings, and he's reasonably priced on Yahoo. He's at center over here, and he's $20. He's like the same price as like Dwight Powell, who I expect to be pretty popular today. Potentially like a Willie Cauley-Stein or a Jared Allen people might go to. Not sure how popular Nance is going to be on Yahoo. On DraftKings, where you can play him at power forward, that's probably going to attract people's eye, but it's a really good spot for Larry Nance. We already know that we have no Tristan Thompson for this game, no Ante Zizic. Cavs are going to be pretty thin in the front court. I expect we get Larry Nance starting at the 5 and Kevin Love starting at the 4. That was the case in the last game against the Magic. Wasn't a great game from Larry Nance, but he did play 32 minutes. He had 27 DraftKings points. Now he gets a great matchup today against the Nets. We know the Nets struggle really or do really bad against centers. They have struggled all year against centers. There was a spot earlier this year where Nance was like really chalky against Brooklyn, and he came off the bench, but he was still pretty productive even though he came off the bench. Had 30 fantasy points in 33 minutes. He did foul out in that game. Could have obviously had a way better game. Really like Larry Nance here. I expect he starts at the 5. I expect he probably gets you a double-double, anywhere from 35 to 40 DraftKings points. Nance just has so much upside in this matchup, so I like him quite a bit. Playing alongside Kevin Love is not great for him, but he's still just such a productive player. He's going to fight for rebounds. He's going to get putbacks, and it's a great matchup. So I do like me some Larry Nance today. But now other power forwards. Really don't want to go cheap here. There's no value that I really like unless Bolden's out. Then you could go to Mike Scott, but that's not my favorite play today. Probably going to be going to the mid-range again with guys like Larry Nance, who I really like. Obviously, Al Horford, I think, as long as he's not limited, is a good play. Paul Millsap could probably play big minutes today. He's probably going to be needed to guard LeBron. So you could go to Paul Millsap, but I think that's it for power forward. Let's go ahead and move on to center now. So at the top of the center position, you got Karl-Anthony Towns and Nikola Jokic, 2 options over 10K. If I'm paying up here, I do like Jokic quite a bit against the Lakers. Jokic is not my favorite stud on the slate. Obviously, LeBron is the guy that I'm going to if I'm paying for a stud, but maybe with teams being on back-to-back, maybe some guys rest, we get some value. I can play 2 studs. If I can play James and Jokic together, I do like doing that. I would definitely play Jokic over Towns today. I know Towns has been playing great lately, but it's not the best matchup. It's a back-to-back. Jokic just in a much better spot against a fast-paced Lakers team that really struggles defensively. So love paying up for Jokic if you can, but I don't think it's necessary because center does have good mid-range plays as well. You got Nance you can play here, who I like quite a bit. If you want to go to Kevin Love, I think he makes some sense. 7,500 on DK. I don't have as much interest in him, but where he's at power forward on Yahoo, he's only $31 over here. I think Kevin Love does make quite a bit of sense. DK, though, he's still in play for me. The minutes haven't creeped over 30 yet. He played 29 last game, 28. I think he finally gets to 30 minutes if this game's competitive. So 30 minutes of Kevin Love versus the Nets, 7,500, easily could get you 45, 50 DraftKings points. So definitely a play you could go to. But I do want to talk about some value here. There is a cheap play that I really like at center. Very cheap, actually. He's under 4K. JaVale McGee's only 3,700 today on DraftKings, and he's cheap on Yahoo as well. He's down to $13 over here. JaVale McGee looks like a great value play today. With no Kyle Kuzma for the Lakers, that really ruins their chances of playing small ball. I don't think you're going to play small ball in this matchup either way. Going up against Jokic, they're going to need McGee out there. Denver does play a lot of big lineups where they have Plumlee, they have Millsap, they have Jokic. Guys, they're given minutes. Like one of those 3 guys is usually always on the floor. So I think we see JaVale McGee start here and probably play anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes, potentially even more. He did start that game against the Clippers, but only played 13 minutes. I don't think that's the case here. I think if McGee starts, which I do expect him to, I think he plays about 25 to 30 minutes if he can stay out of foul trouble. They're going to need his size on Nikola Jokic, and without Kuzma, you're a lot less likely to get Kuzma playing like small ball lineups where you have Kuzma at the 5, LeBron at the 4, or LeBron at the 5 and Kuzma at the 4. I just don't think you're going to get that type of lineup here. Obviously, you can't since Kuzma's out, but I don't think we get small ball lineups against this Denver team. I expect McGee to play a pretty decent amount of minutes, so just with how productive he is on a permanent basis, at 3,700 on DK, might be a little bit risky, but I think does have a ton of upside here. But I think that's it for center, guys. I think that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you click that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below or hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this 10-game slate. Peace.